Before you buy a sauna, 5 questions to ask so you don't regret it. Before you buy a sauna kit, you don't actually need more specs. You need better questions. If you're about to spend $10, $20, or even $40,000 on a sauna project, you want to get it right the first time for sure. The painful truth is that most kits sold in North America are just hot wooden boxes with nice photos, not real finished saunas. In this video, I'll give you 5 questions to ask yourself before you send a single dollar to any brand, builder, or contractor. Use these and you'll know which type of kit fits your life and which ones you can ignore completely. I'm Anton, a Finnish sauna expert, and I've helped thousands of people design and fix their saunas. Let's get into it. Question 1. Where will this sauna actually sit? Not the answer is in the basement or in the backyard, but exactly where. Is it going to be inside your house, integrated into a bathroom or wellness room? Is it going to be framed but unfinished room like a corner of a basement or a garage? Or will it be a freestanding building outside, sitting on a deck or a concrete pad in your yard, for example? Indoor integrated saunas behave totally differently from outdoor cabins. Indoors, you're basically building a tiled wet room with a heater and benches inside your home. That means you need a sauna kit that assumes a waterproof floor and a drain, walls that you can insulate and vapor seal properly. Outdoors, you're now dealing with rain, snow, sun, and wind. Now the important details become roof design, wall thickness, door and window quality, and how that cabin will actually handle being baked and soaked for 10 plus years. So before you look at a single 6-person seater deluxe sauna ads, answer this clearly. Indoor integrated, indoor framed room, or freestanding outdoor building. Once you know that, you can ignore every kit that's built for a different use case. Question 2. How many people do we honestly want to fit in there at once? Not what the brochure says, what your life actually says, and think about your real evenings. How many people do you actually want to be sitting shoulder to shoulder in there comfortably without anyone half hanging out through the door? Most families fall into one of these. Mostly solo, maybe sometimes 2 people in a sauna, maybe mostly a couple plus kids occasionally, or regularly 4 to 5 adults for social nights. If your honest answer is usually just me or me and my partner, you don't need a fake 6-person barrel squeezed into a corner. You need a 2 to 3 person layout with a proper upper bench about 24 inches deep and a full bench so your feet aren't directly on the floor. If your answer is we want 4 to 5 people in there at weekends, then you'll definitely need a larger cabin, no problem. In that case, you're looking for an L-shaped or U-shaped bench layout or double I bench, enough ceiling height for those benches to be up in the hot zone, and enough width so that adults can actually sit and move around if wanted. The capacity number on the websites usually are always marketing. Generally, if a sauna is 6-person sauna, I would think of it being realistically comfortable 5-person sauna, so always minus 1 person. Because the average width of each person takes around, I would say 24 inches. Of course that can change, but from there you can kind of get an idea on what larger cabin you need and what specifically is perfect for your needs. So use your real number to eliminate kits that are guaranteed to feel cramped and awkward from day one. Question 3. What do I hate about saunas I've already tried? This is the fastest shortcut to not buying your own nightmare. Think back to your hotel saunas, gym saunas, Airbnbs, that barrel sauna at the lake house. What are the sessions where you thought, I don't like this at all? The common ones I hear every single week is that my head was cooking and my feet were freezing, or then it felt stuffy, like there was no air after 5 minutes, or it never felt truly hot, just like a warm room it was, or then lastly, it looked nice but I didn't want to stay in there for longer. Each of those points to be a different design mistake. Hot head, cold feet basically means the bench were too low and you were sitting with your body split into 2 different climate zones. Stuffy and suffocating mean that there was no real ventilation, it was just a hot CO2 box. And lukewarm means the ceiling height, ceiling shape, or the heater sizing was wrong, so all the best air lived somewhere else where you weren't sitting at all. Didn't want to stay usually means thin walls, tiny heater, and a very sharp radiant heat instead of soft, even heat off a big stone mass. So write down your top 3 I hate when experiences. Then use those as hard filters when you look at any kit. If you hate hot head, cold feet saunas, do not buy any kit where the only bench is near the floor and your feet will be below the heater on the floor itself. And if you hate stuffy saunas, avoid kits where a ventilation plan is just crack the door. And lastly, if you hate a lukewarm sauna, avoid dramatic vaulted ceilings with the highest point over the door and avoid micro boxes with 7-foot ceilings and low benches. Your past bad experiences are valuable data, don't ignore them. Question 4. What kind of routine do we actually want? Forget about what Instagram shows you, think about your week. Is your dream to have quick 15 to 20 minute sessions 3 to 4 nights a week between work and bed? Or is your dream to have longer, slower weekend sessions with friends, a cold plunge, maybe a fire and time to hang out? If you want regular habit, you need low friction. That usually means the sauna is close to where you live your life, it's fast and predictable to start, and it's easy to clean and dry when needed. In practice, that points you to indoor sauna setups. Electric heater with a timer, controller, or remote start even makes it a lot easier to use the sauna. And of course, simple bench layout and surfaces that drain and dry easily. If you want a ritual, you want the whole experience, so you're okay with lighting a fire, walking outside, sitting in silence, and maybe jumping into snow or a lake. That will point you towards a freestanding outdoor sauna kit. Wood-burning heaters as an option, of course, in there would be the best for a ritual, more authentic experience. And then inside that sauna with bigger benches, maybe a porch, and a layout that feels social and spacious. If your routine is a quick session after work and you buy a cabin that's a 30-second walk across ice in the dark, you'll use it even less than you imagine. But if your routine is long, slow Saturday nights and you stuff a tiny kit into a bathroom corner, you'll always feel like that something is missing here. Your routine decides indoor versus outdoor saunas, electric versus wood heaters, and how much you should care about view, privacy, and insulation. Question 5. Based on my answers, what type of kits make sense? Now we pull it all together. You know exactly where it'll sit, you know how many people you actually want in there, and then you know, of course, what you never want to experience again. Lastly, you'll know whether you're building a habit or a ritual. From here, your job is not to find the best sauna kit on the internet. It is to pick the type of kit that fits those answers and ignore everything else. So the next questions become, does this kit give me the right bench heights and depths? Does it assume I have a drain or a waterproof floor? Does it give me a clear plan for ventilation? If you want to go for a freestanding outdoor sauna and care about the experience, look for rectangular cabin kits with enough ceiling height for 2 to 3 bench levels and real walls and a roof. A well-designed cabin with the feet above the heater and the proper ventilation will always feel better than a too small barrel that only looks good in photos. If you're building a sauna in a garage or unfinished space, look at panelized cabins or interior kits that assemble inside your existing shell. But if you already own the walls and the roof of the sauna itself, meaning a custom sauna, you're really buying the correct benches, a correct heater, and the correct interior wood. Whatever path you choose, ask every kit manufacturer these simple questions. Where does the fresh air come from? Where does the used air leave? What is the distance from the top bench to the ceiling? And here you can usually see if there's a lot of space on the top bench or not. You don't even need to ask. And then lastly, will your feet be above the top of the stones? Or if not, at least close to that. And if they can't answer those questions, they're selling you a hot wooden room, not a finished sauna. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Don't be wondering why I'm wearing the same clothes exactly and look exactly the same. So it's because I'm filming it all in one day.